this can't be real, right? Like, this has to be pure rage bait that they're posting, because what do you mean? 2 adults, 5 children, 7 people living in one room, 1 bedroom, in a motel. And you're not gonna go out and try to make some money? Gig work is slow, so get a real job. Like, what's the plan? I'm kind of bored with them at this point, because, like, what is the plan? There is no plan. They're just gonna do this forever. What interests me most is actually how boring they are and how bad at this they are. So they go in between 2 cycles, which is rage bait, which is what they're doing right now, and then oversharing, where they give out really weirdly personal details that, like, I mean, we're nosy and we love, but, like, weird. But their actual content, like the actual videos they film, are terrible. They're just not good.
The resilient Jenkins have officially hit rock bottom. Jenkins recently went online and said that since his gig work had slowed down, he plans to go back to gaming. Yep, he had that right. Not finding a job, not taking care of his family, not stepping up as a father, but gaming. And the craziest part, he said this without a single shred of embarrassment, which leads us to wonder, are they doing this for attention? Is this rage bait? Or are they truly this careless, delusional, and selfish? Either way, the ones paying the highest price here are the kids. Innocent children stuck in a situation they didn't ask for. And honestly, it's becoming unbearable to watch. Let's break this down, because it's honestly one of the most jaw-dropping things we've seen from Drew yet. This man had the audacity to post a TikTok that literally read, "Gig work has been slow these past couple of days. I think it's time to catch up on a few things I enjoy. Cooking, cleaning, and gaming." Hold up. Cooking and cleaning? Who is he trying to fool here? Because anybody who's seen even 5 seconds of their motel room knows exactly what the truth looks like. That place is an absolute disaster. Messy beds, trash everywhere, dirty clothes piled in corners, kids sleeping on floors. It stays overcrowded and neglected 24/7, just like every single responsibility Drew has been dodging since day one. It's almost insulting that he would even try to slide cooking and cleaning into the list of hobbies, like anyone believes he's ever willing to do either. The only thing Drew has ever consistently cooked up is excuses. The only thing he's ever cleaned is his gaming console controller. Let's not forget,
This can't be real, right? Like, this has to be pure rage bait that they're posting, because what do you mean? 2 adults, 5 children, 7 people living in one room, 1 bedroom, in a motel. And you're not gonna go out and try to make some money? Gig work is slow, so get a real job. Like, what's the plan? I'm kind of bored with them at this point, because, like, what is the plan? There is no plan. They're just gonna do this forever. What interests me most is actually how boring they are and how bad at this they are. So they go in between 2 cycles, which is rage bait, which is what they're doing right now, and then oversharing, where they give out really weirdly personal details that, like, I mean, we're nosy and we love, but, like, weird. But their actual content, like the actual videos they film, are terrible. They're just not good.
this is the same Drew who not even a few weeks ago was bragging on live that he was out there making more money in 4 hours of door dashing than what most folks make in an 8-hour shift. Yep, he told everyone with his whole chest that he refused to work more hours because he was perfectly satisfied with his little side hustle cash. Proud, loud, zero shame. Now fast forward to today, and suddenly the gig work is slow. And what does Drew decide? Oh, time to completely ditch work altogether and go back to gaming. Not once did the thought of, hey, maybe I should pick up a second gig, or maybe I should finally try applying for an actual job, cross his mind. His default setting is laziness, straight to gaming. Like that's a valid life plan for someone with a wife, 5 kids under one roof, and child support for the sick. And let's be honest, This isn't even new behavior. Drew has been gaming non-stop regardless of whether the gig work was popping up or not. The only thing that changed is now he's openly admitting he doesn't even want to pretend to work anymore. It's actually comical. Comical in the most tragic, disturbing way possible. Because at the end of the day, it's not Drew who suffers. It's not Stephanie who suffers. It's those innocent kids living in chaos, wondering why mom and dad care more about TikTok cloud and Xbox scores than their next meal, clean clothes, or a stable roof over their heads. The absence of fatherhood. You know what's even more heartbreaking? When Drew sat there and casually listed the things he enjoys doing, his own kids didn't even make the list. Not one mention. Not even as an afterthought. No spending time with my children. No playing with my kids. No helping Atlas with his speech delay. No being a present father. Not even bonding as a family slipped out of his mouth. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Completely radio silence when it came to his kids. It's actually mind-blowing that a grown man, someone who proudly slaps the label father on himself, could sit there, talk about his life, his joys, his priorities, and not even pretend that his children are part of the life he supposedly loves. Like, how do you claim fatherhood but completely erase your own children from your list of priorities? How does that even make sense in his mind? How do you look at those little faces depending on you every day and still manage to prioritize video games over their future, their well-being, and their emotional security? Does Drew ever stop and take a second to reflect? Does he even sit down and ask himself the most basic questions like, what's the plan for my family? How do I give my kids a stable home? How do I show up for my kids the way a real dad should? What steps am I actually taking right now to make sure their tomorrow is better than their today? Or is his entire mental energy completely clogged up with gaming strategies, cheat codes, controller setups, switch streams, and his next online battle? It feels like his brain is permanently stuck in a selfish survival loop. And the saddest part? The survival loop only applies to himself, not his kids, not his family, just him. As long as Drew has a charged controller, decent Wi-Fi, and whatever game he's obsessed with at the moment, everything else becomes irrelevant. Their needs, their pain, their hunger, their discomfort. It's like background noise that he's long since learned how to tune out. It's beyond disappointing at this point. It's honestly sickening. And it leaves us with one really painful, gut-wrenching question. Does Drew even care at all? Or have his children become nothing more than blurry, muffled, backdrop to the chaotic, self-centered, lazy world he's chosen to trap himself in? Because from where we're sitting, it sure looks like the answer is pretty clear. The rage bait playbook. Before anyone even thinks about giving them the benefit of the doubt, Don't fall for it. Don't let yourself be manipulated. This isn't new behavior. This isn't surprising to anyone who's been paying attention. This is the resilient Jenkins exact playbook, a tired, worn out, rinse and repeat routine that they've mastered like clockwork. It's a cycle, a pattern so obvious now that even people who were once supporters are catching on. Remember the meltdown on live? The one where Stephanie was bawling her eyes out, hyperventilating, screaming at the top of her lungs that she was done with Drew, saying over and over that she couldn't take it anymore, crying about the constant fighting, yelling, instability, and non-stop chaos was harming the kids, how it was too much to bear, how she needed to walk away for their well-being. And then what? Cue the conveniently timed, perfectly staged couples therapy live stream. Suddenly, the entire energy shifted. It was no longer about how toxic Drew was or how the chaos was ruining the kids' mental health. Nope. Out of nowhere, the new storyline became, we're working things out for the sake of the kids.
Bye-bye.
The kids don't stress me out like that. And sometimes then, any stressors I do get from the kids are because we are already fighting. And that's you.
Oh yeah, we definitely do fight. Y'all act like y'all act every relationship is perfect.
Relationships perfect? Whatever. No, I don't believe that. People don't fight in
I
relationships.
I feel like we're far in between though.
We have a lot to work on. I've already mentioned we've never been on a date by ourselves. We've always had the babies with us. We don't get alone time.
We like food.
Yeah, we connect through our food.
Just like that, they flipped the narrative. And the wildest part? People, especially those holding on to an ounce of hope, actually started thinking, maybe, just maybe, Stephanie finally woke up. Maybe she's finally going to leave Drew for good. Maybe this time it's real. Nope, wrong. Fast forward literally just hours, and boom, there they were, smiling, giggling, and posting their regular happy, go, lucky, cringy couple goals TikTok content like absolutely nothing happened. No sign of the screaming, no trace of the tears, no mention of the emotional breakdown that happened mere hours earlier. They were laughing, dancing, playing house, acting like the meltdown didn't even exist. It was all fake, a perfectly crafted, manipulative act designed for one thing and one thing only: views, sympathy, attention, and most importantly, money. And now here we are again. Same script, same act, different day. Drew's ridiculous post about how he's abandoning work because gig work is slow and going back to gaming is nothing but the next scene in their endless performance. Another round of rage bait. Get people angry, get them riled up, get them commenting, get them arguing, and as always, get the TikTok algorithm working in their favor so their views land in everyone's feed. But here's where it stops being funny. Here's where it stops being just drama. This isn't some silly influencer breakup. This isn't harmless TikTok gossip. This isn't tea. This involves real children. Real, breathing innocent kids who are homeless. Kids being dragged without consent into their circus act that their parents have turned their entire existence into. And the most heartbreaking part? These kids didn't ask for any of this. They didn't choose this life. They didn't sign up for their pain, their trauma, and their suffering to be monetized. And yet, they are the ones paying the highest price for their parents' selfishness, ignorance, and non-stop addiction to online attention and quick money. It's devastating, it's sick, and it's unforgivable. Where are the kids in all of this? And while these two are busy playing their little social media games, putting on shows for TikTok, where exactly are the kids in all this? Still living motel to motel. No stable home, no security, no consistency, no access to basic childhood experiences like parks, playgrounds, birthday parties, or family outings. Nothing that even remotely resembles a normal or safe upbringing. Remember when it literally took them over a year just to scrape together enough money to buy Dishon a toy gun? A single toy. One. But oh, when it comes to dropping money on Drew's gaming controller, upgrading his headset, or paying for sudden car repair, money magically appears out of thin air. It's like their wallet only opens when it benefits them, not the kids. Upgrading his headset, or paying for sudden car repairs, money magically appears out of thin air. It's like their wallet only opens when it benefits them, not the kids. And it's not just a lack of toys or missed trips. It's a daily neglect. Just take a look at Stephanie's recent live. She was holding her baby girl in the middle of summer, mind you. And what was the poor child wearing? A full long-sleeve fleece jumpsuit that was meant for freezing winter temperatures. This isn't a one-time mistake. That baby is constantly seen either drowning in oversized clothes or squeezing into outfits that are visibly way too small. How does this keep happening? Meanwhile, G's gaming console sits dust-free. His controller works perfectly. His gaming chair is in great shape. Priorities, right?
Did y'all catch the resilient Jenkins on live earlier today? Because why is Stephanie's baby girl in a full jumpsuit, like a full-on snow winter jumpsuit thingy, in the middle of summer? It is 100 degrees outside. Why is your baby in a long sleeve, full body jumpsuit? Walmart has literal outfits less than $10. You could literally get a top and some shorts, a couple pairs for like $20. Literally the button onesies, even the short sleeve button onesies are literally so cheap. There's no reason why your baby should be in a full-on jumpsuit in the middle of summer. Is this a joke? Like, is this literally a joke? Like, is this literally rage bait? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.
It's beyond heartbreaking. These kids are sitting in cramped motel rooms day in, day out, while their parents prioritize TikTok views and use gaming sessions over their well-being. No learning materials, no books, no proper toys, no structured routine, and definitely no focus on their emotional or developmental needs. The Jenkins have made it abundantly clear. If it's not helping them chase online fame or personal comfort, it's not worth their money or time. And the saddest part, the kids didn't choose this. They are the collateral damage in their parents' non-stop circus of poor decisions, the dark side of exploitation. But it gets even worse. Stephanie has publicly admitted, on camera, clear as day, that it's the kids' choice to be in the videos, that her kids supposedly feel like little celebrities. These kids, literal minors, being handed the responsibility of deciding whether or not they want their faces and their lives broadcast to thousands of strangers online. Excuse me? What kind of delusion is that? Then, as if that wasn't bad enough, she actually doubled down. She had the audacity to claim, without blinking, that the internet is a safe space for her children. A safe space. Really? This is the same internet where her own son was literally pinpointed on Google Maps, identified standing outside the motel parking lot. Someone actually figured out his exact location based on the videos she posted. And that's what she calls safe? If this isn't a massive, glaring, unbelievable failure in parenting, then what is? And let's be clear, this isn't just the occasional harmless family vlog where you post a cute birthday party or a trip to the zoo. This is the kids being put to work, doing voiceovers, being filmed while holding bags from one motel to the next, sitting in cluttered motel rooms as content props. Their struggles, their homelessness, their confusion, all turned into content for TikTok, turned into entertainment for strangers. It doesn't even stop there. Stephanie went as far as to diagnose her toddler with autism on camera in front of thousands of people. And she did this without ever asking professional testing, without a formal diagnosis, without a shred of confirmation from an actual expert. Why? Because it makes content, because it triggers engagement, because it brings views, because it pays. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Let's stop dancing around it. This is child exploitation. Plain, simple, ugly. These kids have been turned into a paycheck. And the scariest part? Their own mother doesn't even seem to realize, or worse, she simply doesn't care. Where's the money going? Let's not pretend the money isn't coming in. The views are there. The checks are clearing. The followers are growing. their comment section stays active. The algorithm keeps pushing their content, their live stream badges, their TikTok creator fan payouts, their question of brand deals. Oh, it's all stacking up. But here's the $1 million question. Where is the money actually going? Because it sure isn't going into clothes for the kids. It's not being spent on better living conditions, not on getting those kids proper speech therapy, not on educational materials, not on toys, not on activities, and definitely not on anything that looks remotely like stability. It's not going into savings for their future. It's not being used to get them out of their overcrowded motel. It's not even being spent on the basic essentials like nutritious foods or proper hygiene products. It's not being used to create any sort of better life for these children. None. Nope. Instead, it's going towards Drew's ever-growing gaming setup. Controllers, headsets, upgrades, you name it. It's going toward constant car repairs because they live life driving motel to motel instead of securing permanent housing. It's being spent on takeout, cheap fast food instead of groceries that would feed the family properly for days. It's going towards Stephanie's random shopping hauls, the same hauls that somehow never seem to include decent clothes for the kids, but always manage to include something for herself or for Drew. At this point, it's not even just selfishness, it's willful neglect. Every single time money touches their hands, it gets funneled into their personal comfort, while the kids remain stuck in the same miserable cycle of instability, neglect, and online exploitation. It's heartbreaking. It's infuriating. And it's exactly why the internet keeps sounding the alarm about the resilient Jenkins. Conclusion. At this point, this isn't just internet drama. This is a crisis. A heartbreaking situation where children are being exploited, neglected, and dragged through the mud for clicks, views, and cash. Drew is seriously sitting online talking about how gig work is slow, as if that's an excuse to stop working entirely and return to gaming, while his 6 children are either homeless with him or waiting on court-ordered child support he refuses to prioritize. Meanwhile, Stephanie's solution is to double down on exploiting her kids, putting them in more videos, having them do voiceovers, turning their trauma and instability into content. And let's be clear, the kids aren't getting paid. They're not benefiting from this. This is straight up labor without compensation. Being homeless is already a trauma that no child should ever experience, but add that to the pain of being used as a paycheck. That's another level of devastation. So I'll leave you with this. When is enough enough? When do these kids get a shot at a real life? At stability, at safety, at peace? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this ignorance? Is this manipulation? Or is it pure, calculated exploitation? Either way, stay tuned. Because if you think it can't get worse, trust me, it always does with the resilient Jenkins.